Hi, Makayla. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to answer some questions for your health class about pregnancy and childbirth. Um, so I'm just going to go through the list and answer the questions. The first one is, what was your health and eating habits before pregnancy? My health was good before pregnancy, and eating habits, I'm sure I wasn't the best eater, but I also wasn't the worst. I mean, I would drink soda here and there and have fast food probably pretty regularly, like once or twice a week. And yeah, just like a typical kind of diet. But I've never um, drunk alcohol or done drugs, so I don't know if that is included in that. So I don't I don't drink alcohol, and I don't have a desire to. But okay, I think that's good for that. What was first, second, and third trimester like? The first trimester for each of my pregnancies was the hardest, and I think it generally is the hardest for women. Your body is just like, what's going on? And um, I just remember being very tired. Um, that's usually when a lot of if women feel more nauseous is in the first trimester. Um, Thankfully, I never felt super nauseous in any of my pregnancies, but I was very tired in the first trimester. The second trimester was kind of like, okay, you're cruising, and you don't, and it's a marked difference. Like when you get that first week of the second trimester, you're like, oh, I feel like I have more energy now, and it's better, and you're starting to get more of a belly, and you start to feel the baby move, and it's like, oh, it's so cool. The third trimester was also pretty smooth sailing for me. You do get more. I did. I need to stop talking in third person, but I felt more tired again in the third trimester just because I was bigger and had gained more weight, and but still, I felt pretty good, and it probably did have something to do with eating habits and exercising regularly. With each successive pregnancy for mine, I tried to exercise more often, and because I knew I would have to have a C-section. So, and when you're active during your pregnancy, not super active, but not playing football active, but when you're active during your pregnancy, it's just better. The recovery is better after you have your baby. What were complications during pregnancy? I didn't. My pregnancies were all pretty typical. Gracie was probably where I experienced most complications because she was breech, so her head was up and it should have been down, but and so that was worrisome because the doctor was always like, and she measured small, and the cord was around her neck. We didn't know the cord was around her neck until she was delivered, which usually you don't know that, I guess. Um, Maybe they do now with better ultrasound technique, but um, so that was a complication. I was worrying about her being breech, and she also didn't have a lot of fluid, which babies, it's better for them to have more fluid for them to move around in and be healthy and grow. Um, Miscarriages. Yes, I did have a miscarriage um, after Reese. So at the end of 2010, yeah, we were expecting a baby, um, and then at 14 weeks I found out I miscarried, but I kind of, I remember feeling really, like my stomach was just upset. Like I just felt kind of sick, more sick than usual. I didn't think it was a miscarriage, but when I went in for my appointment, the doctor couldn't find the heartbeat, and that was super sad. Like that really opened my eyes to like um, how hard that can be for people, and my heart went out to so many women that have so many miscarriages and aren't able to conceive and carry a baby to term. That just my heart still breaks for them. It was just very, very sad. Um, Next question. Oh, and that was a boy. That was our first boy, so that was 14 weeks, and I had to go to the hospital to deliver him because he was too big, to just pass on my own. I don't know how much information you want about that, but that was just a very sad, sad, heart-wrenching time for me. Did you have someone supporting you? Therapy. Yes, Tim was always very supportive. We were excited to be parents together. Him and I would go to classes, birthing classes, and um, that was something that was taught by a nurse at the hospital where we delivered her. I don't remember my mental health. What my mental health? Oh, so that was with Gracie, but and with each pregnancy, Tim was very supportive, and as you have children and your network grows of like other moms and other young parents around you, like you just kind of form this group, and it's fun to get together and have your babies get together, and so yeah, it's good to have a community for when you're having your family starting out, to have people to talk to. I remember with Gracie being born, it says what was mental health like. I remember thinking, I went from being Bethany to being Gracie's mom. Like people were always just like asking about Gracie and excited to talk about her, and oh Gracie's mom, and I'm like, oh, I've kind of lost myself in having this baby, but but it all comes around again, and you find yourself again, and life is good. But so I guess my mental health was kind of like sometimes self-pitying, like feeling sorry for myself, thinking like, oh, I thought this was going to be like a lot easier, or I've read all the books and I thought it was going to be a lot easier, and how come my kids don't always do what I want them to do? But anyways, just stuff like that, just like, oh, okay, this isn't going to be a walk in the park. It takes preparation, and even with preparation, it's hard and challenging sometimes, but it's good. Cravings. I did have cravings with Gracie. I ate a lot of peaches, which, funny enough, she does not really care for peaches, but I ate a lot of peaches with her when I was pregnant with her. Don't remember much about when I was pregnant with Nina and Reese, any standouts. But I know when I had Dallin, when I was pregnant with Dallin and Russell, the boys, I really liked eating burritos and hamburgers. Like I craved a lot of protein, I guess, burritos and hamburgers. Yeah, that was good. And when I was hungry like right then. I wanted to eat right then. Any specific worries or anxieties about pregnancy or upcoming changes? I think I was worried like not being able to get back in shape. Like I wanted to be able to still move around and be healthy after each pregnancy. With my babies, I don't think. Oh, after having the miscarriage, of course, I was scared about having that happen again. But I just kind of felt like things would be okay, and they were. But that just puts it like, ugh. Like it's a stressor for sure. Let's see, physical changes after giving birth. Yeah. I think you can notice in most women that have babies, like you just have a little baby pouch right in your belly. Like I do a lot of ab exercises, and you wouldn't, like I don't have a six pack, and you wouldn't think that I'm like super in shape or anything if you looked at my belly, but yeah, it's just like there's just gonna be a little pouch there, and I know some women have surgery to take that away, but I just want to be healthy, and if that's what I have, that's what I have. I love my body still. I'm grateful that I'm able to have children, and yeah, so it's been good. Physical change. I think I just said that. Physical changes after birth. Yeah. So your hips are my hips were wider, and even though I've consistently exercised and tried to take care of my body, like I don't fit into my wedding dress anymore, but that's okay. Like women's bodies, we just change over time, and that's fine. I'm happy to have a good body. How were you treated by doctors and nurses? It was respectful, very good people. All my doctors and care staff were all very kind. But I believe in treating people kindly and respectfully, so I think believe what you put out, you get back. So it's good to be kind to people. Positives of pregnancy and birth. Well, seeing my sisters have babies, their first baby out of wedlock, each of them, and seeing how hard that was, I wanted to not have it be that kind of hard for me. So I wanted to make sure that when I wanted to have a family, that I would be married, and yeah, that we would bring children into a couple that is a good, strong couple. Like, I want us to have a good foundation for starting our kids off of. So it's good to have somebody with you to experience pregnancy with, your husband. And yeah, he was there at each of the births, and it's just such a sweet bonding experience when, like, having our first Gracie, and see, it was kind of, her birth was kind of traumatic because I wasn't expecting her to have her that day. I just went to the hospital to see if they could turn her from the breech position, and they did a real detailed ultrasound first and saw that she was breech, and the quarters, she was just measuring small, and they thought the cord was around her neck, but you can't always tell. And so anyways, so they rushed me into surgery, but thankfully Tim was able to come with me too. He was able to get there in time for that part. And so, but then seeing Gracie, like, wow, this is our baby. It was just like so miraculous. We're just so over the moon excited. And even though we weren't expecting her in that day and that time, but it was just so like, wow, this is our baby. This is amazing. It's so cool. And each baby was like, oh, it's so cool. And how they're individual little spirits and a part of our family. So that was cool. So because Gracie had to be so I'm answering the last question, what was labor and delivery process like? Because Gracie had to be a C-section, emergency C-section, with Nina, I was hoping to do a vaginal delivery, but my doctor was going out of town like shortly after her due date, and he's like, do you mind if we just schedule a C-section on her due date, and if she comes before that, great, and if not, it's okay. And I don't know what the policy is now, but if you had two C-sections, then you cannot do a vaginal delivery. So I knew that if I had another C-section, that I wouldn't have any hope of having another vaginal delivery, which I don't know, I guess women want to do that for whatever reason. Looking back, I'm like, I think C-section suited me, but so each time I went in for a scheduled C-section after Gracie. So yeah, she wasn't trying to come on her own. She was just content in my belly. So she was delivered on her due date as a scheduled C-section. And then, funny enough, Reese and Dallin and Russell, I went into labor with them before their scheduled C-sections. So, so once I went to the hospital and they saw that I really was in labor, they just did a C-section. So I was okay with C-sections because I learned how to tips about recovering better with it. Whereas with the vaginal delivery, you just get stretched out down there. And I know that can be uncomfortable, or some women tear, and I'm like, just hearing about their experiences, I'm like, yeah, I'm okay with a C-section, and they're safe. Anyways, if there's anything else I can answer about this, sorry, it's really long, but I tried to answer all your questions, but I'm happy to be of assistance. Thank you again for asking me, and I will talk to you later. Love you.